session was because everything was just put in, came not only serious ideas, but a spirit of management that brought us into a situation that Henkel company in Austria became not only first in the Austrian market, but that it became so strong that our company was stronger than the next three together. And the next three together were companies like Procter & Gamble, Unilever, and Colgate-Palmolive, which means three of the best market companies of the world. But we beat them. We beat them, and I think the best basis behind it was that we did not work only in a specific field, responsible for a specific product and trying to do the best out of it, but because it was an open spirit, not a big hierarchy, but it was a very flat hierarchy, and we sat together and tried to discuss everything from our strategics till to questions of, I don't know, advertising. And this went so far that we usually even had our lunches together, at least groups of out of them. And it was very funny for me to see that after a while, people from other departments, from the technique sector and so on, they asked us why we were fighting each other all the time. And we wondered about it because we were not fighting, we were just discussing so intensively that everybody from outside thought we were fighting each other. But this was this common basis for success, I would say. And maybe one thing that is decisive also in this respect is we tried not to stick only to our problems, but we also discussed about politics, about art, social developments. Sometimes we invited people from outside, psychologists, social experts and so on, who just talked with us about developments in the society and brought the basis for some discussions. And all this together, I think, was a mixture that really brought out not only specific results, but really enormous results. And this was something I also tried to use a little bit in politics, to have discussions, to make up my mind in a strategic way, and combine it with immediate action. And the very positive thing in private industry is that most of the time you will be able to do what you think is necessary and to do it without very much formalism and bureaucratic systems. This is what I learned, that when you are convinced that this is the right way, try it from the next time to do it. And another thing I learned, we were not always and just automatically the best. We had to fight for it. We really had to fight for it. When we saw that some product, there was a range of around 20 products we were responsible for, when we saw that we were losing market share in some field, then we sat together and tried to analyze why. And most of the time we realized that there was not one reason we could analyze it. And the lesson I took out from the experience, and we had a very good marketing chairman at this period, who also became responsible afterwards for the whole company of Europe and worldwide, was that he tried to inspire and to motivate us really to try to work on every screw. If you don't have the one solution to solve a problem, not try to find it. You probably will not find it, because most of the time there is not just one reason or one solution that can bring you all the results, but that we tried to become better in every respect, to turn on the screws, to fix up the screws better than all the screws that held the system. This was more or less one lesson I took out from this business. Okay, I always was a politically minded person. I always occupied myself with politics, and insofar from the beginning, from just sit down and without hurry. Yeah, just for the people who came later, I just want to tell you with a few words what happened up to now. I said to the audience that I will try to talk about this field of ideas and action with my own experience in three fields. This is on the one hand private business. I worked for Henkel Company for 20 years. Then I worked only for politics in parliament and government. And the third one is in Political Academy and the Austrian Institute for European and Security Policy, where I'm responsible now. And I just finished more or less the first part in private industry, and I tried to tell a little bit about my personal lessons I took out. Yeah, I started a political career almost from the beginning when I started work at Henkel Company, and this was not always very easy because, of course, this takes time, and I also was sometimes in the situation that I thought whether I should not quit my political ambitions. And if I had not such a strong political motivation, I probably would have done it. Because, of course, I had to ask sometimes myself whether it was not more worthwhile to concentrate only on business. I could have had a much faster career, probably, just concentrating on that. And of course, it was not also easy because I had political meetings within my working time and many telephone calls and everything. And to combine this always is not so easy. Especially when I became a member of parliament, this was not very easy then. You can imagine I was a sales director from a company in hard competition, and at the same time I became elected to parliament and had to try to combine this. It was not easy. I had to start out pretty early. Usually I went first to the company. After 2 or 3 hours, then I went over to the parliament. I had a session over there, left when I saw it was not necessary to be there present. Went back for a few hours, and this worked out this way. And also in the evening hours, I had, of course, many political meetings for my political party and so on, as you all know it. But it was challenging, of course, enormously challenging, and it always used to be my ambition to to be engaged in state politics, and insofar, even if it was very tough, I tried to go through it. And at this time I had already, of course, also overcome this decision question whether I should go into politics or whether I should stay only in business, because the decision was made already from the moment when I came into parliament. My inner motivation, of course, was so high that there was no question just to concentrate on business anymore. And then, of course, in this situation of being, on the one hand, engaged in my usual business, and on the other hand, starting a political career, not only by intention, but by facts, being in parliament and acting as a politician, I had to make my inner decisions how I should not only concentrate, but how I should find my personal way. And what helped me very much was my experience out of business. My experience to set priorities. I just tried for me myself, not writing down a paper or so, but making up my mind. What are the priorities? What do I want to do in politics, and how can I reach that?